for something to start, it needs to be a passion, right?
Yeah.
If happiness comes through money, then you'd never be happy because
I was also reading, and I heard it from you also, about this cycling that you did from, I think, Mount Everest Base Camp
oh yes,
to Kanyakumari.
so fun. So I realized that if it's a passion, if you're having fun, then it's really easy to accomplish.
Okay.
Most of our tricks are to they're offbeat tricks, right? So and they might not be on the tourist circuit. Everest suddenly has become what do you say? It's a photo op kind of a thing.
Yeah.
What do you say when people go
Trend, like Insta trend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's become trendy.
Hello, everyone. So, welcome to POV Unpopular. Today we have Sir Ajay Bhola with us. So, actually, I wanted to introduce, like, today we have a very special guest with us, but I have been restricted to do so. So, just Mr. Ajay Bhola with us. And the topic for today's podcast would be outdoors, love for outdoors, adventure. He is the founder of a travel company, which is known as AdventureISM. And today we'll be talking about it and also a little bit about his life, his journey, which brought him to adventurism. So, okay, enough. I've talked enough. Now let's move to Sir Ajay Bhola. So, sir, welcome, firstly. And the first question to you would be, how did this all start? Like, from where this started, your love for outdoors, adventure? कैसे शुरू हुआ ये?
Hello Nupur, thanks for inviting me over for your podcast.
Thank you.
So, for something to start, it needs to be a passion, right? My passion for outdoors started at a very early age.
Okay.
My father served in the Indian Air Force, and because he was serving in the Air Force, every 3 years or so we got posted to different parts of the country.
Yes.
And I was fortunate enough to stay in different states, be amongst nature. And that's the time when actually my love for nature grew.
Okay.
You don't have very many facilities when you're in the remote states of the country. And the best thing was the units that we were stationed in were amongst either forests or backcountry kind of a place. So the best thing that we could do after school was either play or run around in the thickets which were around the units. And gradually that became a passion for me, a nice solace, a tranquil place where you'd escape after school. So that's how the journey it came up. And though the passion was there, I did not realize that it's going to become my profession at a later stage.
Okay.
Because of this kind of love for nature, I took up a subject in my graduation which was geography. And geography is also related to outdoors. We study about the earth and various landforms.
These
And
days
again-
I hear very few people taking up geography as their graduation because it's normally something to do with engineering or doctorate.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
but it's very different, yeah.
So my father fortunately told me study whatever you feel like studying. I was never under compulsion. So studying geography gave me an advantage that I could travel. The subject as such is such. It's evolution of Earth. That's what geography studies. So there are different fields in geography, geomorphology, which studies about the landforms, oceanography studies about the oceans. So I thought if I take this subject up, I'll definitely be able to learn more about what I love. So that's how my love for outdoors started growing.
Okay.
And that was how the base was formed.
Okay. So when did you realize you want to take this up as a profession? Like you want your life to actually revolve around outdoors, nature, and this should be the profession? Like, or was it that you initially wanted to be an engineer or something like that, and then you thought, nahi, you left that field and switched field to outdoors, or it was always this is what you did, like professionally?
No, professionally, I wanted to be in the forces. My father was in the forces, my uncles were in the forces. I
Okay.
wanted to be in the forces, but because of medical reasons, I had to pull out.
Okay.
That was not a career that I could pursue.
Okay.
So I started working in an MNC, which was a garment company.
Okay.
So learned the technical aspects of garments and worked almost for a decade or something like that. But then I realized that's not my cup of tea. Going in the morning and coming back late at night, and you hardly get time for your own self or to visit places which are far off, because then you need a lot of time, at least 4 or 5 days to go out.
And also, I feel it's not very fulfilling for the soul, kind of like.
Oh, you bet. I mean, there's no dearth of money in that field, but yes, I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
If happiness comes through money, then you'd never be happy, because happiness is, if money is just numbers, right? And numbers don't end.
Yeah.
So if you're running after happiness through money, you'll never be satisfied.
You'll always be running, basically.
You'll always be running.
Yeah.
So one fine day I thought I want to quit my job.
Okay.
And I told my boss I don't want to work anymore. And I was good at work. And every time I used to tell him that I want to quit working, he used to give me some incentive, keep me back. And one fine day I just sent all the files back to him and I said, there you are, I'm not working. He says, what are you going to do? I'll do something, I'll follow my passion. And I sat myself at home for 3 or 4 weeks. And I thought hard what would make me happy. And the only thing that came up was to travel and be amongst nature. And that's how the journey started. And I thought, let me explore this field, the field of adventure sports. Initially, it was just going to the mountains, hiking myself solo, small hikes. And then gradually, when I started learning the trails, knowing the place, I started taking my friends and colleagues. And that was all just for free. We just form a group of 3 or 4 people, go to the mountain, go explore a fort, go explore some thicket or forest, and come back. And I became very passionate about, looking at birds and animals and watching them. And it was not always big animals. Even a small chipmunk or a squirrel would fascinate me. Look at the way she would go, where would she go every time she comes down a tree, which direction would she run to, why is she running there. I had studied geography. Ecology was a part of my curriculum. So I found it very fascinating. At times I'd just go sit by a pond, look at the frogs, fishes, tadpoles. And then, when you look deeper in it, you see small worms in it. And the question used to bounce in my mind, how come life is thriving in such kind of places, and why does it thrive, and where does it come from? Trying to answer these questions made me grow fonder about nature. And then later on I started doing courses.
You have done I think basic mountaineering.
Yes, I did my basic mountaineering course from Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi. It's one of the most popular course, and it's the best institute in Asia. I happened to do my basic mountaineering course from there. I did my trip leader course from National Outdoor Leadership School, which is in Landis, Wyoming. And then to aid myself and help my guests come out with me to the mountains, I did a course in first aid also. Okay. I did a wilderness first responder course from Wilderness Medicine Institute, which is a very intensive course. And then the course basically prepares you to take care of any casualty or calamity which a guest would face in the backcountry, till the time you can bring him to a definitive care. It's an intensive course, so I did that, and gradually did a lot of professional courses because I realized that I wanted to be in this field. So that's what helped me come up in life and did these courses.
I was also reading, and I heard it from you also about this cycling that you did from, I think, Mount Everest Base Camp
Oh yes.
to Kanyakumari. I think in 63 days, if I'm not wrong, and you
Oh,
have a
yes.
Limca book record also of the same.
Yes.
So how did that happen, and how did cycling come in picture?
So cycling. We never wanted to do cycling as such. We just wanted to have fun.
Huh.
2 decades ago or so, something like that, I was working for an organization which used to conduct camps for school children.
Okay.
And I used to go there as a leader, and later on as a campus chief also. And we used to do multi-activities for young adults,
Kids.
children.
Yeah.
They used to come and learn rock climbing and outdoor survival and bushpacking, marksmanship and cycling. So I was very fascinated with cycles with gears. This is something around maybe 2010 or something like that. I'd never sat on a cycle with gears. So it's something like you're fascinated. A child gets fascinated by a new toy, right? So I used to think, wow, that's a wonderful thing, man. It's got gears on the left, gears on the right, and there are people riding it up and down and jumping around. And I wanted to do that. And I didn't get a chance for it. And one day I went and asked one of the boys, take it out for a spin. He says, have you sat on one? I said, never. He says, you need to learn the basics, and that's going to take a couple of years. And that day I told myself, one day I'm going to ride this bike and I'm going to do something big with it. That's it. And then we forgot about it. I had a colleague with me.
So you somewhere or the other manifested it long back.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I had a colleague with me, Narendra. And nice guy, again a mountaineer. He used to come with me and we used to sit over chai over there, and we used to talk castles in the air. And he used to tell me, one day I want to climb Mount Everest. And I used to tell him, okay, Nari, the day you climb Everest, we are going to cycle from there. And we used to both laugh at it. Little knowing that after leaving that company, he joined Sahara India Parivar for the adventure sports wing. And he got sponsored to scale Everest.
Okay.
And he told me that, listen, AJ, I got sponsored for Everest. You remember our deal? And till that time, I used to think, yeah. I mean, he's actually going to scale, and I'm actually going to go to Everest and ride. I say, yeah. The day you scale Everest, you're going to cycle from there. And sure enough, next year, he went to Everest and successfully scaled it.
Yes.
He came down to the base camp, called me from the satellite phone. He says, I've scaled. So get ready for a cycling expedition.
Yeah.
So that's how it all started, small steps. And then he came back and says, actually, we should do that. Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
There's no problem. The only problem is we don't have money. And we don't have cycles.
Yeah.
So we spoke to Sahara India Parivar. They told us to give a proposal. And the only idea at that time was to sit on a cycle with gears. That's it. I didn't know how it works. I didn't know what brands were there. We just made a small proposal, gave it to them, and told them that we are going to cycle from Everest Base Camp till somewhere Bihar Sharif or somewhere where they had this para-banking offices. And every time we'd send a proposal across, they said, this is too small. 2,000 kilometers is nothing. Increase it. We said, okay, we'll come till Lucknow. Again, the proposal would go back. It says, do something substantial. I said, okay, you have your own, there's a place called Ambi Valley near Lonavala. So they said, can you come till here? And little knowing how it's going to go, we said, yeah, we'll cycle till there. As long as you give us the money to cycle till there, give us a logistics vehicle, and give us a bicycle also. We'll do it. And then that's the time when actually we started doing a little bit of research that is it possible to do something like that? Who has done something, cycling of this kind,
Has anyone done it like before?
No one had done this kind of cycling expedition. The only thing we came across was one guy who had cycled from Cairo to Cape Town in Africa.
Okay.
And that's relatively flat land. He did it in something like 118 or 20 days or something like that.
Okay.
I say, if he can do it in that many days, we can also do it. So the initial quote that went to Sahara India Parivar was 120 days. And I says, this is too much. Either you crunch it or you forget it. And then we both sat together and says, listen, buddy, we want to have fun. If you want to cycle, let's do it. So he says, okay, what's the time we have? We crunched it down to 90 days. And the kilometers would be something like 6,000 kilometers. They asked us, can you increase that? How can we increase that? It's coming down straight from Kathmandu, straight line down to Kanyakumari. We can't increase the distance. Someone gave us idea, why don't you crisscross the country? So fair enough, we can crisscross the country. But the rider came with that was to do it in less number of days. And the way a child becomes happy, if you tell him, I'll give you a toy if you finish your homework, he'd quickly try to do the homework right. So that was the case with us. We finally agreed to do it in 70 days. And we thought that we'll do 12,000 kilometers.
Okay.
That was the goal and target that we had. And the route that we planned was come from Everest Base Camp down to Lukla, Okhaldunga, Faflu, Saleri, and then enter Siliguri side, from Kakerbita, and then go to Arunachal, Nagaland, Bangladesh border, come down to Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, go up from Delhi to
crisscross here.
Yeah, to Pakistan border, come down to Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, crisscross, go down to Karnataka, then enter Andhra, Tamil Nadu, and finish off in Kanyakumari. So we said, okay, we'll do it in 70 days. And every Sunday, we'll have a rest day to recuperate. It so happened that when we went there, we realized that it's not going to work that way. it's very difficult planning something on a paper and then actually cycling. But that's how the plan came along, and then we set our mind to it. We got sponsored, and that's how the expedition.
And then you did it in 63 days. Yeah?
Yes, that's also a different story. When we started off from Everest Base Camp, when we were at Lukla, we started hiking up to Everest Base Camp. So that was a double whammy. I'd never been to Everest Base Camp. I'd not done the trek before. So the thing that came to my mind was, wow, I get to do Everest Base Camp trek also with it, right? So we approached a couple of companies in Nepal, and all of them turned down the proposal, saying that they're not allowed to, they don't allow anyone to cycle from Everest down to Lukla because the region falls under Sagarmatha National Park.
Okay.
And things like that are not allowed. No one has done it before. Finally, we met up with Apa Sherpa, who was managing director at Asian Trekking, a renowned company. And we told them it's cycling. First thing they asked was, what's different about it? And anyone would cycle. They said, we are promoting global warming and benefits of cycling. He took it up and he got us a permit. So thanks to Asian Trekking and Sahara India Parivar, who backed us up, who saw our vision that we wanted to spread awareness about global warming and benefits of cycling. And they said, yeah, they are going to promote this. So they backed us up, and then we took our cycles up there, assembled them, and started coming down.
But it's sounding very easy. It must have been like physically and mentally draining as well.
Yes.
Or was it all fun?
No, so till the time we reached Lukla, it was all fun. What happened was when we came to Kathmandu, uh, the small aircraft that you take to reach from Kathmandu to Lukla, they generally become full very fast, no? So the aircraft that we were supposed to fly in, it was by a company called Mountain Air, and we were booked on that aircraft, but they could not take our baggage with us. So they said the baggage is going to go first and you'll go later or something like that. And we said, no, we need to go with the cycles. So we switched our crafts. And we reached there on an earlier craft with our cycles. And then we started walking up. And we reached Dengboche, I think 2 days later. And I mean, we had no contact with anyone, right? And we were looking at the news, and there was a lot of lull and gloom over the television.
Okay.
I was wondering what's happening. I said, oh, a Mountain Air flight crashed on the side of the mountain, and all 14 people were killed. I was very sad about it. And that's when we asked them which flight was it. And lucky enough for us, that happened to be the flight that we were supposed to be on.
Oh.
And the news by the time had spread to India that one of the flights had crashed, and people at Sahara India Parivar, they didn't know that we were not on the flight. Right? We just switched our flights. And even my parents, they'd seen the news. So actually they thought that we're no longer alive. And that's the point where we actually gave a call to India and said, well, we are alive. We had switched crafts. And that was a little bit of scary things for people. And then we went up, assembled our cycles and started coming down. The first few days, Nupur, were not good. I mean, we were happy coming down till Lukla. But then we were not ready to ride in the mountains. It's not easy. It was definitely not the way we ride in cities, right? So the initial plan of doing something like 150, 200 kilometers a day went down the drain. The maximum we could do in 7 or 8 hours or 9 hours was something like 50, 60 kilometers. And that dampened our spirits a lot. And a lot of times in the first week, we thought that let's give it up. We can't do it. But then, as they say, it was mind over matter.
Right.
We wanted to have fun.
Take one day at a time.
Yeah,
I think,
we made smaller goals rather than looking at Kanyakumari. We said, okay, let's cycle today. Let's have a whale of a time. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy the day. And if we can't do it tomorrow, we'll give it up. And we started pushing it that way, no? And the off day, which was supposed to be a Sunday, we said, doesn't matter. Both of us fought at what time to get up, and then he says, okay, we don't care. I don't want to ride with you, so I'm riding on a Sunday also. So that's how we started doing this. We rode 7 days a week. And the result was that by the time we reached Kanyakumari, it was just day 63. We reached a week early.
You know, this is like a very good philosophy for life as well, actually. For any tough situation, take one day at a time.
Oh, yes.
Kal jo hoga dekha jayega, take one day at a time.
No, not just one day at a time. It was like we've had breakfast, we'll ride till lunchtime, we'll relax. If we have energy, we'll ride. And then we used to ride slow, talk to each other, talk to people. We used to stop on the way, speak to villagers, have fun, go to schools, give them a talk show, talk to them about global warming, spread awareness. So it was more of a fun thing, no? Rather than a challenge that you have to finish 12,000 kilometers. We'd never thought of it. So that's how it became gradually, and it was more of mind over matter. Yes, we used to get tired, but then we used to get a strange kind of kick. The dopamine would kick in, that the fun thing that tomorrow we're going to ride to a new place. We are going to cross Tropic of Cancer. We are going to cross some tea estates. You just check it up on the map and get super excited about it. Stop anywhere for tea. A lot of people would come around. Sahara India Parivar had its team. welcome us at a lot of places. There'd be anchors and media person coming and interviewing and ask us. A lot of villagers used to get baffled. Why are we cycling such a long distance?
There are some random people just cycling.
Two random people, and cycling, and we had a logbook which we needed to get signed and stamped at least twice a day or something like that, or thrice a day, to verify the routes and all. And they used to ask us, where are you cycling from? Everest. Why? Why Everest Base Camp? Why don't you take a vehicle? It's easier. So, we want to cycle. So it was hilarious. And by and large, people are extremely friendly. They open up their hearts and houses for you. Sit, have tea, rest a while. And we should tell them, we need to cycle on. We need to finish something like 180, 200, at times 230 kilometers a day. And that's lots of fun. So I realized that if it's a passion, if you're having fun, then it's really easy to accomplish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about outdoors, I think your most of the life has revolved around outdoors and adventure.
Oh, yes.
So what is that thing about this field that always pulls you back in? Like, what's so nice about the outdoors and adventure?
So, I've studied anthropology also. And studying anthropology in depth or at a very cursory level, you realize that the way humans have evolved, or any life form on Earth has evolved, surprisingly, humans, I might be wrong, but that's my thought process. Humans are the only species who slog to earn money, right? And then save it to spend it at a later moment time, and the time sometimes never comes.
True.
Right? Look at other animals. They're born, they struggle through life. Of course, everyone struggles, right? They have fun. They hop around, live, forage for food. And it feels, maybe they are, but to me it feels they are living a very stressless life. No, there's hardly any stress. Of course, if you see predator and prey, there's always going to be stress. But they have this happy-go-lucky kind of life, For me, even people like Ramapithecus or Sivapithecus or Homo erectus in earlier days, when they were living in caves and forests, they used to get up, go forage for food, eat, be happy, maybe definitely die early. From a scientific point of view, they had a shorter lifespan, but that's the kind of life I would enjoy doing. Who wouldn't be happy if he was told, you don't have to go to work, you don't have to pay taxes,
just do whatever you want to do.
Do whatever you want to do. Today is your day. Have fun, come back, eat, sleep, drink, be merry. Tomorrow is going to be a new day. Explore, go sightseeing, vacation. So for me, this is my job. This is my passion. I've never thought of my job as work per se. So adventure pulls you back. Every day is a new challenge. I go to the mountains, I go on the river. For me, it's a challenge. 2 days are never same. Even on the same trail, there's going to be something new. So the anticipation of seeing something new every day, that's most rewarding for me. That's what keeps pulling me back to adventure and my organization and company, AdventureISM, every day. And thankfully, I'm also associated as a core member for another company called Oxoplanet. Oxoplanet also has similar philosophy about adventure. And Oxoplanet is an organization that sets up land-based adventures. Like you see zip lines and climbing walls and rope courses. So that's what Oxoplanet does. And I'm fortunately a core member for them. I look after their ops. And even they feel the same, that one should be passionate about what they do. They also are passionate about what they do. They set up adventure rigs. And fortunately, I've been associated with AdventureISM, which is my own company, and Oxoplanet, where I work with. And when you have this conducive kind of atmosphere, you feel like going back to them. There's never been a day when I don't feel like going to work. I go to bed and I'm like, okay, when is it going to be 6 in the morning? I need to be back.
Because I
at my
feel
pad.
that's the main difference between a lot of people who are doing 9 to 5, and obviously I'm not saying that it's not right. Maybe for the people who enjoy, it's right. But then a lot of people I see, they always feel stuck. They are not happy. They are not passionate. They are waiting for the Saturdays and the Sundays in their life. But on the contrary, people like you, or people like who have literally followed their passion, maybe a little not so conventional field, but I see a lot of passion when they talk, and whatever work they do, they are not waiting for the Saturdays and the Sundays. Every day is like a Sunday and a Saturday for them. So that's the major difference I feel between this category. Maybe there are some people who are doing the conventional jobs and they are very happy, but often I don't find such thing.
Yes, I agree with you, Nupur, because a lot of people tell me that they are looking forward to a vacation.
Yeah.
It's been almost 24 years. I have not taken a vacation myself.
Because it is a vacation, like your job is.
So for me, every day is a vacation for me. It's not that I don't have angst or pain in my heart, but that pain does not come from adventure. That comes from the scenarios and the situations which I see in the cities. So I'm more happy and comfortable being in the mountains, because that's what I feel connected with. That's what I feel. That feels like home to me.
Right.
But when I go to places of interest, like how shall I tell you, like Kedar, Ghati, or other places. 20 years ago, when I used to travel there, those places used to be pristine. What has changed now is that the structures are same, the tracks are same, the trails are same, but you see a lot of garbage, and that's what hurts me. The amount of plastics that's there.
So I was actually coming to this because obviously traveling, hiking, trekking has a lot of pros. But then this is the con, I feel, because as more and more people are going towards traveling, hiking, even I see a lot of garbage at a lot of places, like a lot of pilgrim places that we have. Now it's all like they are filled with rubbish, plastics, and everything. So I mean, yeah, that's the downside, and it comes to the people who are going there to take some mindful actions while traveling. So I don't know if you and your companies also maybe they have taken certain actions or certain things in this regard.
Oh yes, indeed, Nupur. One of the key persons in AdventureISM is, along with me, is a young girl whose name is Sonam.
Okay.
She's a lead trainer and a partner in the company. And between Sonam and me, Sonam has also studied from Knowles, and she's also done her mountaineering courses, basic mountaineering course, advanced and search and rescue from Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. So we are both very passionate about outdoors. And when we travel to a lot of places, before taking our guests out, we do a recce trip. A recce is when we go out, when we want to start off a trek to a new place.
Okay.
Most of our treks are to they're offbeat treks, right? So, and they might not be on the tourist circuit, which means we'd rather not take people to Goa or Manali, for that matter. You can go there on your own. We'd rather take them to places which are far off, not on the kind of maps, and unique. Maybe no network. So before we take a group out, we go there ourselves, so that we can see how the trails are, how the routes are, what is going to be the evacuation point in case we have some eventuality. We talk to the district authorities, take permissions. So when we go out to those kind of places, we see that a lot of garbage, especially plastics and all, over there. And when we formed the company, we thought that we are going to take this point up seriously. And how do we do that? We need to educate people, right? The garbage it's not that people who go to the mountains deliberately throw it over there. It's the mindset they have.
Yeah. Anywhere they'll do the same.
When they're in the cities, you see there are a lot of people who help clean the streets, right? So maybe without thinking twice, they can throw off a wrapper, thinking that tomorrow there's going to be someone who will come and clean it up, right? They throw something off from their car, even if it's a tissue for that matter. So we thought that we need to start educating people about it. And because Sonam and I both have a background with Knowles also, we realized that educating people is very important.
Yeah.
There's an organization called L&T,
Okay.
which stands for Leave No Trace. They have 7 principles. Very simple principles. And basically, if you were to follow the 7 principles in the backcountry, you'll be able to keep the cities and in the backcountries very pristine. It comes from US, and then the principles were founded so that backcountry can be kept pristine for the younger generations or the newer generations that come up to enjoy. So we started actively following L&T on all our trips.
Okay.
We make sure that whatever garbage goes out comes back. We make sure that if our treks are crossing a glacier, that no one is allowed to urinate on the glacier. For that, we have a Nalgene bottle. You just urinate in a bottle and bring it down and dispose it off at some place, where there's a pot or something like that. All the garbage that goes out comes back in. We take garbage bags. And on the last day of our trips, we encourage all our team members, which is the trek leaders, the cooks, the porter guys, pony guys, and us also. We carry huge bags. We bring back a lot of garbage. At times we have brought back 180, 85 kilos of garbage. That's the last day of the closure of a trek. So that's what ails us. We need to teach this to younger generation. People unmindfully eat a banana and they'll throw it in the forest and they'll say that this is going to decompose. Of course this is going to decompose, but that banana peel does not belong to that ecosystem. And that will definitely have adverse effect sooner or later. So we encourage people to pack back whatever they have. You want to carry a pack of biscuits or chips, and you think that a wrapper will fly off, you don't know how to take care of it. It's fair enough. Leave the wrapper back at home. Pack your biscuits in a tiffin or something. Take them up. So this is one thing that I've seen over the last 2 decades, degrading
it is like
nature.
Global warming is real. The glaciers are actually going.
The glaciers are receding. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Of course, the glaciers are receding, and people do not realize the thing that this is something that someone is going to come from somewhere and solve it for them.
It's like, people talk, a lot of families, they talk, we are leaving so much money and everything for our children, for the next generation. But actually, what are you leaving? You're just destroying everything.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
See, tree cover has reduced dramatically in the mountains. One of the reasons why you see a lot of mudslides and landslide is because there's hardly any vegetation on the slopes to hold the mud together. A lot of people would say that they want land for bringing up habitations. They need dwellings to come up where they need to stay, but they need to find a sustainable way to coexist with nature.
Right.
If you keep cutting trees, there'll be a day sooner or later when all the mountain sides will be denuded of vegetation. There'll be no roots to hold the soil together. With just a torrential downpour, all the mud is going to go down the valley. And that's how slopes give way. That's how landslides occur. That's how accidents occur. Yes, a lot of people are actively working in the mountains. For example, a lot of people are regrowing Devdar trees. And Devdar is a fantastic tree.
Hmm.
Uh, it's Devtulya.
Hmm.
It's the wood is really fragrant,
Hmm.
and its roots hold a lot of water.
Okay.
People started growing pine,
Hmm.
which was introduced by Britishers
Hmm.
for faster benefits. You get turpentine oil from the pine, and a pine tree would mature in 8 or 10 years.
Okay.
Devdar takes 80 years to mature.
Okay.
And Devdar it's a beautiful tree if you go in the mountains see, and a lot of mountain sides have been denuded of Devdar. People have cut Devdar, they've smuggled Devdar to build houses and other wooden items. But slowly people are planting Devdar again.
People are getting conscious, but it's not on that level, I feel. Like,
yes, but
yeah.
sooner or later we need to make a start. We need to take smaller steps.
Yeah.
We need to start off from our home. When we talk about leave no trace ethics in the mountains, we thought, why not practice same leave no trace in the cities? If I have some garbage in my car, if I'm traveling, I'd rather keep it in the car with me. That is
where habits build.
Yes, and take it back with me to my home and discard it in the dustbin. If I have a car, I'd rather ask 2 more, 3 people if I can drop them on the way. It's carpooling. That's what people used to do earlier. Now the problem is that everyone wants luxury and everyone wants comfort when they go for Chardham Yatra also. They want to go as far as possible in their vehicle in comfort.
Yes.
Then that is not a yatra for me. When you're doing a yatra of that kind, what our forefathers did, there's to be a lot of teary farewell. People would say that maybe I don't even know if they're going to come back. Will we come back and see you? Because the journey itself was remarkable.
Yes.
A tremendous journey. Now people want to sit in their luxury cars, go up till Badrinath and everywhere.
Even on Everest, there are like traffic jams and all, and like.
Oh, Everest it's become such a strange thing.
Initially, if somebody would say like, I'm an Everester, and it was like, okay, he has climbed Everest. Now it's like everybody is going to Everest.
So Everest suddenly has become what do you say? It's a photo op kind of a thing.
Yeah.
What do you say when people go?
Trend, like Insta trend.
It's become trendy to climb Everest. And surprisingly for me, Everest is it's the highest point of the earth, right? But it's definitely not a challenging climb. If you have the money, you can do it.
Right.
Earlier, when people went to Everest, when Hillary and Tenzing went, they walked all the way up from Darjeeling. They had jute ropes. They had huge, bulky clothing. They had oxygen cylinders which are almost as big as this. They were purest mountaineers, But now, all the difficult task is done by ice doctors, the Sherpas. They set up the lines. All you have to do is wear a seat harness, hold a jumar in your hand, strip it up on the line and walk up. You can use as much oxygen as you want. So people who have got disposable income, they'll go and climb up a mountain and they say mountaineers. Well, for me, if you're a mountaineer, go climb up K2. Then I'll say, yes, you're a mountaineer. Everest is not of course it's a challenge because of altitude, but if you want to call yourself a mountaineer, I'd look at people and who'd say they're going to climb K2.
Yeah.
So, and what is happening is people go blatantly, they use as many oxygen bottles as they want and then just dump it over there. There are tents, ripped up tents over there. There are so many bodies. Everest is soon going to get a second name of the highest garbage point of Earth. There's so much of refuge over there which people refuse to bring down. So where are we going? I mean, Nepal government should, they definitely are looking into it. But my friends from Nepal, they should definitely take a stronger action towards this and stop it. I mean, spending something like 2 hours in a traffic jam when you see those photographs where there's huge
literally a
queues
line,
coming up,
yeah.
at the balcony. That is scary. You can run out of oxygen just waiting there, and you're staring at your own death. And that is not adventure. Adventure definitely is scary. There is a risk of death, but this is not what I would call adventure.
True.